If you're constantly checking whether your manifestation is working, you're actually stopping it. And I don't mean that in some mystical or superstitious way. I mean it in a very practical, grounded way. Because the moment you start looking for results, something inside you shifts, your inner state changes. And that state is the opposite of the one that allows reality to reorganize itself. Most people don't fail at manifesting because they're bad at techniques. They fail because they don't realize that their attention is the real mechanism. You can visualize perfectly, you can affirm consistently, you can understand all the concepts. But if your attention keeps returning to, "Is it here yet?" you're constantly resetting yourself into a state of not having. Think about this honestly. You visualize, you affirm. Maybe you feel aligned for a moment. There's calm, maybe even certainty. And then, almost automatically, you check. You check your phone, you check the situation, you check someone's tone, their replies, their behavior. You check your bank account, you check for signs. And when nothing has changed yet, something subtle but important happens inside you. It's not dramatic, it's not panic, it's not despair, it's a small contraction, a tightening, a quiet shift back into waiting. A thought like, "Is this even working? Did I do it right? Maybe I need to do more." That moment is not neutral. That moment is not harmless. That moment is the exact point where the state changes. Because manifestation does not respond to wanting, it responds to assumption. And watching for results is not just watching, it's assuming the absence of what you want. Watching means you don't believe it's here yet. Checking means you're still waiting. Waiting means this is not your current reality. You don't have to say those words out loud. You don't even have to think them clearly. Your nervous system communicates them automatically. Reality doesn't respond to words, it responds to state. Here's a simple way to understand this without any spiritual language. Think about something in your life that is completely settled, something you do not emotionally question. Your name, your age, the place you live, your native language. How often do you check if those things are real? You don't. You don't wake up and affirm your name. You don't scan the world to confirm your age. You don't feel anxious about whether your language will still exist tomorrow. Those things feel normal. They feel obvious. They feel stable. And because they feel stable, you don't emotionally lean toward them. You don't monitor them. You don't look for proof. That's what assumption feels like. People often misunderstand the idea of letting go. They think it means they have to stop wanting, or stop caring, or pretend they don't desire something. That's not true. Letting go doesn't mean you drop the desire. It means you drop the monitoring of the desire. You stop emotionally hovering over it. You stop checking whether it's safe to relax yet. Because checking is not curiosity. Checking is a request for reassurance, and reassurance is only needed when something feels uncertain. Uncertainty is a state. When you're constantly watching for results, your body is not calm. Even if it feels subtle, there's a low-level alertness, a forward-leaning attention, a sense of not yet. Your nervous system is signaling something important hasn't happened. And your brain does what it's designed to do. It maintains coherence between your inner state and your experience, so it keeps generating a reality that matches that unresolved feeling. Not because reality is slow, not because you're being tested, not because manifestation is fragile, but because your system is consistent. Reality is not slow, reality is precise. This is where a lot of people accidentally sabotage themselves. They notice nothing is changing, and instead of questioning their state, they increase effort. More techniques, more affirmations, more visualization, more mental control. But effort always carries tension, and tension communicates, "I'm not there yet, So every time you try harder from that place, you reinforce the assumption of absence. This is why people say they tried everything and nothing worked. They weren't failing because of a lack of discipline or belief. They were reinforcing the wrong internal position. Manifestation does not respond to intensity, it responds to naturalness. Naturalness feels calm. Naturalness feels ordinary. Naturalness feels unremarkable. The state that changes reality is not excitement, it's familiarity. And watching for results destroys familiarity because it constantly reminds you that the thing you want is separate from you. Be honest with yourself for a moment. When you check for results, are you relaxed? Or is there a subtle leaning forward inside you, waiting for something external to confirm that you're okay? That leaning is the block, not the desire, not the intention, not the wanting. The leaning. So what do you do instead? You don't fight the urge to check. Fighting just adds more tension. You don't shame yourself either. Shame is still focus. You simply notice what checking is pointing to. It's pointing to a state of not having. And instead of trying to fix the outside world, you settle the inside. You ask yourself a simple, grounded question. How would I be showing up right now if this was already resolved? Not how would I celebrate? Not how would I brag? Just how would I be? More relaxed, more present, less mentally tight, and you let yourself occupy that state without demanding proof. The moment you stop asking reality to confirm it, you stop telling reality that it isn't true yet. That's when things start moving. Not because you forced anything, not because you did the technique perfectly, but because you stopped contradicting yourself. If this resonates, don't rush to turn it into another method. Don't immediately try to apply it perfectly. Just start noticing how often you lean forward emotionally. Notice how often you're asking reality to reassure you, and notice what happens when you don't. That's where the shift actually begins.